What I want to do today is I want to share with everybody what I've been doing on the business side. And then, I think Amy and we're struggling with the same thing. As we're building the business, there's just more and more things to do. And as you learn more, there's just more and more things that you figure out that you don't quite know how to do, or you don't know how to do very well. So I'm just going to go really quickly, especially Rula, we haven't seen you in a while. Just what we've been doing with these JTS meetings is we've been really trying to talk more about the business side. So how do we turn podcasts into a business? So I'm gonna kind of just share what I've been doing real quick. I created a small presentation. All right, so can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess everybody knows that one of the things that I decided to do was I decided to rebrand my entire business around myself instead of my business name. So I'm not going to spend any time here. The media strategy, we went over this a month ago. So I'm going to go through it just real quick. So basically, I've focused everything on my personal webpage, which is a landing page, and my LinkedIn profile, which is driving traffic to my landing page. And of course, the landing page is to collect emails. I've launched a series of webinars. I've already done 3. And so the webinars are the registration for the webinars is the main thing that's driving the email list. I have a meetup group, so I use my meetup groups to promote the webinar. And also, but when there's an event in meetup, I'm driving everybody to the landing page where they have to register. When I record these webinars, and this is what I'm going to talk about, it creates a lot of what we call long form content. So I record these webinars. They last anywhere from an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. It's a lot of great content. So it goes to YouTube. It goes to, obviously, Apple Podcasts. I'm also now remixing the webinars and publishing to SoundCloud. So SoundCloud is also a great platform for people just to listen to audio. And when I'm doing that, obviously there's a lot of work. So you have to write descriptions. You have to write a description for your vlogs, a description for the repost, a description for YouTube. If you repost it to your LinkedIn groups, you have to make a title. Every time I kind of repurpose it, I have to make these images that I have to use in the videos and in the promotions. So it's a lot of work. And then it goes into the marketing blueprint, which is all the social media channels that I use. All of my marketing blueprint is driving traffic back to my landing page. All of the audio and all the video and all the media channels is also driving things to my landing page. And of course, I'm resharing that content through Meetup, and that's just how I engage with the people that I'm working with. So this is what I want to really talk about today. So, and Ishmael, I'm going to love to hear your comments on this, but this is kind of how I've developed my overall business strategy. So the business strategy obviously includes everything that we need to do when we make this thing a business. So if you can see my cursor, over here on this side is basically just content creation. So my content creation is basically webinars, podcasts, and then I want to write some blogs and articles. Okay, and then here is where I'm currently just doing way too much work because I'm not good at post-production. So I'm using Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro, but it's just taking me a lot of time to make these videos and to make these MP3 files, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. I've created what I call show themes. So one of the things that you want to do in order to build a business is you have to create kind of different shows or different themes and disseminate through different channels so people can listen to it. So I have my traditional podcast where I interview guests. I have another show called The Mindset Report. I have shorter episodes called CLD Stories and Lessons, and then I have another show called CLD Insights. And CLD Insights is basically podcasts where I'm actually the guest. So I'll repurpose that and publish that on YouTube, where instead of me interviewing somebody else, it's somebody else interviewing me. And this to be announced is I want to create a co-host show where I have two people and we're actually creating a show where we're co-hosts. Okay, so here are all the media platforms that I'm using: podcasts, Whooshkaa, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And by the way, anybody who's still on ShoutEngine, Whooshkaa is just so much easier and so much better to use than ShoutEngine. So I would highly recommend everybody switch over to Whooshkaa as opposed to ShoutEngine, because ShoutEngine is just really difficult to use, and it takes a lot longer, the RSS feeds. Whooshkaa uploads to iTunes. It's published in like 15 minutes once you upload it to Whooshkaa. Yeah, so it's really good. Really, really good.
Do you have to pay for that? Is it like 10 or 15 bucks a month?
No, it's completely free.
Oh, sweet. Oh.
Yeah, and I can show you my Whooshkaa interface screen after this, so you guys can just see how easy it is. I'll share that after I go through this.
Cool.
So Stitcher and Spotify. So Spotify is something that you can publish to automatically through Whooshkaa. So I'll show you that later, where you don't have to do anything. It just goes directly to, also can go to Spotify. I haven't set that up yet. Stitcher is also something that I want to set up for podcasts. Now, as far as written blogs and articles and answering questions, I think Medium and Quora are really good. So I'm starting to write some articles for Medium. And I used to answer a lot of questions on Quora. I think I've gotten over 100,000 views of my answers, but I kind of stopped doing it. What I did now is I changed my Quora profile to link everybody to my website. And then, of course, I have my website. And this is my marketing blueprint. So it's basically LinkedIn. There's posts, there's articles, there's groups. I want to explore using InMail to contact people directly, and also want to explore using paid ads. Facebook, of course, I have my Facebook group. I have my expert page. I can do posts, and then there are other Facebook groups. I currently post to like 2 or 3, and then I also want to explore Facebook ads when I have something that I think when I'm ready to really start driving real traffic. And then I have my MailChimp, which is obviously the email addresses. And then what I have that I think some of you may not have is I have my meetup groups. So with all my meetup groups, I have I think almost 10,000 members, or I have over 10,000 members. So this is a great way for me to promote my web.
I have a question about meetup groups. Do you have to pay for them?
You don't have to pay to set up a meetup group. What you have to do is you have to pay for meetup groups that start getting big. I think it's over 100 members, or over, I can't remember how many members, but I think it's over a certain number of members. You have to start paying, and if you want to do multiple meetup groups, you have to pay. So I think I pay $30 a quarter.
Okay.
Or it could be $30 a year, and I can have unlimited members, and I can have up to 3 meetup groups. So okay. I have 3. But you can start. I mean, if you're just getting started, you can start a meetup group without paying anything. It's like you can create a small group. If the following gets too big, then you all right. So this is what Amy and I were talking about in the chat. What I've highlighted here is what I've outsourced. So I'm working with a Upwork freelancer to do my website and to manage my email autoresponder. So now I no longer have to do that. There's a lot of other things that I want to outsource, but this is what I've outsourced so far. I also want to create what I call as a content creation blueprint. So it's like with a podcast, you want to publish one every week. You want to be consistent. You want to keep on publishing. Well, I realize you need a blueprint not just for podcasts, but for everything. So like, for example, I do a webinar every 2 weeks. What am I doing with my podcasts and my podcast shows? Are they going on every week? Are they going out every day? So for example, with the CLD stories and lessons, every webinar creates about 5 to 10 really short audio clips that are anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long. So for example, for the last webinar, I actually have 9 CLD stories and lesson shows. These are shorter audio clips where I'm answering some specific question. And I could schedule one to go out a day, but I don't have a blueprint now. So when I'm ready to publish, I just publish them all out at the same time. So suddenly you'll see five podcasts going out because I'm doing them all at once. I don't have a blueprint yet. Now this is what's really important right here. This is called the Mindset for China Business Webinar intro videos. So since my webinars are the main way that I get people to register and collect email addresses, before each webinar, I'm starting to create an intro video. So I do these every 2 weeks. So probably a week before the actual webinar, I want to do an intro video, and then that'll get promoted on YouTube, on LinkedIn. It'll get promoted to all the LinkedIn groups. I may even share it to Facebook. It goes out to the emails, and definitely it goes out to the meetup. I can send all my meetup groups messages too. And so what happens is I'm driving traffic to my website. So my website is my landing page. So every time I do something like this, it's driving traffic to my website, which is my landing page. And the website itself is the landing page. And then everybody who registers for my website, for my webinars on Meetup, it's all going to the landing page. So everything that we do here, it's all to drive people to the website and then drive people to the landing page, which is, of course, collecting the email addresses. And then once you have these email addresses, you can send them to a sales page. Okay, so I can also share everybody my sales page that I've created. I think it's very similar to the one that Ishmael created from the Business Accelerator. And I have my website connected to Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is free. So once you do your website, you just set something up. There's an add-on, you set it up, and then now you can automatically get all the information from Google Analytics. So I'll just give you a quick example of what I did. So I wrote an article, and it went out to Medium. Okay, and then basically that article I just shared through my marketing blueprint, and then I went into Google Analytics, and I could see how many people are coming to my website from medium.com. Okay, so what happened is the article that I published on Medium, for the first week, I got 100 views.
Oh, wow.
And then in Google Analytics, I saw that I got 6 website views from Medium. So that's 6%. So out of 6% of the people who viewed my article actually clicked on the link that went to the website. Now, I don't know if they registered for anything, but that's the strategy. The strategy is just to use Google Analytics to find out whenever you promote something, where's the traffic to your website coming from? And Google Analytics, it just does all of it automatically. Once you set it up, you can just see all the information. It's just amazing. So I'm only in the very early stages of even looking at that. So I haven't really started to analyze or make any adjustments to my strategy yet. All right, now I want to also share real quick about my studio and recording evolution. So when we first did the Broadcast Yourself course, Brian basically says, don't worry about microphones and audio quality. I've discovered that audio quality is really important because I've gotten a lot of feedback where people said, your audio quality is just so bad, I couldn't listen anymore. So I've been improving. So I have camera 1, and this is what you are listening to now. So basically I have a Logitech high definition camera. This is like, I don't know, 60 bucks or 70 bucks. This is what I'm recording right now with, and I have this connected to the Blue Yeti Pro. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is actually, I'll show it to you later, but this is basically mounted on a boom stand. And then my background, you can see there's interview chairs. So when I actually have people in studio, and my last interviewee was in studio, what I've set up is a second camera. So the second camera is my iPhone. iPhone actually has a 4K camera. The video from the 4K camera is actually better than the high definition Logitech camera. And I have that connected to this. This is the Zoom H6. And I can connect that directly with this. This is a USB 3 to Lightning port connector. So basically you connect the Lightning port to your iPhone, you connect the USB to your Zoom. The Zoom has real-time monitoring. So now the audio quality with this is excellent. And that's my second camera. And then eventually, the Blue Yeti has professional XLR. And the XLR can actually go directly into your Zoom. So I'm gonna figure out how to set that up. I also realized that I have this old camera. It was released in 2012. It's a CyberShot, it's a Sony CyberShot RX 100. So I have this camera. It's actually pretty high resolution. I don't know if it's 4K. It still works. So for my next in-studio webinar or in-studio podcast, I may test this out as a second camera. And this is what I think everybody might want to test. So post-production has been a huge challenge for me because it consumes a lot of time. Using Logic Pro, using Final Cut Pro, it just takes a huge amount of time, especially when you start getting multiple cameras. So the first thing I wanted to share with everybody, you can check it out yourself. It's free to test. This is called Audiophonic. And this was actually recommended by Tim Ferriss. So I watched a Tim Ferriss video, and he just says sometimes when he doesn't have time to do post-production, he'll just upload the audio file to Audiophonic, and it will directly adjust the volumes. It will directly, it just does everything automatically. It adjusts the volumes, it removes some of the background noise. It does it all automatically. I think they give you 3 hours free that you can test, and then it's like $10 a month or something like that. So if you're having trouble with your post-production, definitely test Audiophonic. It's free. You can test 3 hours worth of podcast for free, I think. And then if you're doing any videos, like live videos where you're using multiple cameras, this Pluralize is something that I want to test. So it also has a free trial. And basically you can just put all of your audio and video from multiple cameras, multiple sources. You just put it all in a folder and you drag it all into Pluralize, and then you hit process. And what it does, it automatically syncs everything. So instead of doing a clap, so you have this sound spike and you try to align everything up, this does everything automatically. And there's another good feature about that, and I realized this when I did my last video when I recorded with 2 cameras, is that when my iPhone video and my Zoom video were synced in the beginning, they started to drift as it moved on. So when you're 30 minutes into the video, the audio is then like 3 seconds apart. That happens with different recording devices where you have this kind of audio drift. This Pluralize automatically adjusts your audio drift too. So it automatically syncs everything perfect, and you don't have to do it visually and do a clap and try to do that. So that's all I wanted to share as far as that. Let me show everybody real quick Whooshkaa and how great that is. Let me open up another window here. All right, so this is Whooshkaa. By the way, is anybody using Whooshkaa besides me?
Not for the moment.
You're all still using SoundCloud, okay. All right, so this is the Whooshkaa interface. Okay, so when you want to import from ShoutEngine, all you do is just import a show, and then everything from ShoutEngine automatically comes over to Whooshkaa. And it just literally took like 20 minutes. So this is the Whooshkaa interface page. Okay, so one of the things that you do have to set up, and Whooshkaa's got really good help and support. It can tell you how to do everything with a page. Import from ShoutEngine, podcast from whatever. So basically in the page here, I actually link everything to my personal website now. So public show page URL. So this is public show page URL. Now it just goes to my website. I have a page called shows. I'll show you real quick here. All right, so I have a podcast page. All right, so this is the Mindset Report show. This is the CLD stories and lessons. This is the CLD podcast. So this is listing all of the podcasts, the most recent podcasts, and this is CLD Insights, where I'm interviewed by somebody else. So Whooshkaa, you can just put in whatever URL you want, and it will go directly there. This is the RSS feed if you need it, and of course it links directly to my Apple Podcast. Okay, so it's just really, really convenient. And then in episodes, so you can see that these are my old podcasts. It just says imported. Okay, these are the ones that I published with Whooshkaa. And it's really easy. So if you want to create an episode, you just say create an episode, right? And you just upload your episode, you enter your title, you enter your descriptions. You can even choose a kind of an album cover for that show. Your tags in, and I don't ever do a custom URL. And then you just create. It's just so much easier to use than ShoutEngine ever was. So I highly recommend that you switch over. Even when you're in the episodes, you can take, it's just really easy to use. So here in the actions, what I can do is I can copy the episode URL page, right? So what I do is I copy this URL and I use this URL as a promotion. So I send it out to my social media channels, my marketing blueprint, and then when people click on it, it just opens this page here, right? So this is actually, it just opens this podcast. I have a nice banner here. They can play it and listen to it directly. I have my notes, episode notes. So one thing that I didn't do here is I should put a link here to my landing page. Okay, this is my guest was Michael Portman, so right now I just linked to him. But what I can do is I can easily edit this and just add my link. So let's see. I will go back here, action, edit. Okay, so this is the edit page, so you can see the audio file here, and then here all I got to do is just, in fact, I'm going to do this right now. Hold on, let's see. So I'm going to go to my home page. I'm going to copy my website URL. I'm just going to copy and paste this right there, and I'm going to say update. All right, so it has been successfully updated. All right, it's been successfully updated. So I'll go to my shows and episodes. Go to my episodes. All right, so which one did I just update? I think I updated this one. So open the episode page, right? So now my link is directly here. Okay, so this Whooshkaa is just really, really easy to use. It's so much easier than ShoutEngine. So I would highly recommend you guys switch over. I also show you real quick kind of what I was showing you before, where everybody's, so now this is my web page. So you can see my web page now is my landing page. So, you know, they can receive a guide to cross-cultural performance right here, right? And they can sign up for the free webinars. So this goes directly to this where they can register now, right? So you can see my blogs all have this opt-in right here. Register for the free webinars. Join my Facebook group. This is what I'm developing now. Okay, so this is, I just basically follow Brian's template. So I have, this is me selling, offering consulting services or China business advisory services, and then I have these different options where people can do an evaluation for 25 bucks, pay as you go, inner circle, annual inner circle, and they can do a consulting project, right? So this is kind of, and this is eventually going to connect directly to Calendly. So my Calendly is now set up to directly accept payments from PayPal. So now everything is just all set up and it works really, really well.
Just together and the text you do it yourself, or you're outsourcing it?
The only thing that I'm outsourcing is the actual the website itself.
Website itself, okay.
Yeah, because I'm creating all of the, images.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I didn't show you. I've actually, I wanted to share with you. Are any of you using YouTube?
Not yet, because I put some videos on it. It were try videos from the course, but I'm gonna get them all out because I want to make other ones more relevant to what I'm doing.
Let me show you guys. YouTube is going to be a big thing for me, and I want to show you guys. Let me share my screen again real quick. Let's see. All right. So I want to share with you guys what I've done with my YouTube channel. It's looking like a really professional YouTube channel. So this is my YouTube channel. Okay, so you can see every one of my videos now has a really nice image. So I'm creating these myself. And then I have these playlists. So each one of the show themes that I told you about, the mindset report for China business, there's a playlist. So all of these videos are on this playlist. CLD Insights, where I'm a guest, you can see this is a playlist and everyone has a very nice picture. CLD Stories and Lessons, which is basically talking about China leadership dilemmas. You can see all of these have a really nice playlist, right? So this YouTube channel now looks almost like Brian's.
Yeah.
And it was really, really easy to set up. Let me show you this real quick. Let me open this. Let's see. All right, so this is PowerPoint. So all I did was I created these files in PowerPoint. And every time I need to make a new image, I just copy and paste. And the template is there. Right? So even for the behind the scenes, the template is there. So for example, whenever I want to do this, I just create the image on PowerPoint, right? So this is just regular text. I can edit this however I want. And then I just say File, Export. And then I just export as a PNG file. And I just make it, probably, so if I'm using it for video, I'll make it 2000. If I'm using it as a thumbnail, I'll make it 1000. So I actually, for every image that I make 2 images. I export one higher resolution that I use for the videos, kind of like an image before the video actually starts. And then I make a smaller image that I use as a thumbnail. Because in your YouTube channel, you get to select the thumbnail, which appears here. And this is just so easy to do. You don't have to use Adobe. You don't have to know graphics editing. All you do is you put a background image that you like. You crop it the size of the PowerPoint file itself. I mean, you want to make it like 16 by 9, so it's actually the high definition width dimensions. And then you just type big, bold text right over it. And I like to use a little frame just to make it look more professional. And then and you don't have to learn anything. It's just basically PowerPoint. And then this is the result. You can see that every one of my videos has just a really nice thing that just basically shows the title. And even if you click on all the videos, so this is all the videos in random order. Even if somebody's just looking at my videos, this just looks kind of really professional. And it took me doesn't take me long at all. I'm just basically using PowerPoint. I'm exporting these images as a thumbnail and as a high resolution. So I can just show you. So for this one, this is my latest podcast. Okay, so you're not going to be able to hear the audio, but you can see that at the beginning, I just use this screenshot, and then it fades directly into the video, right? And so it just makes it really, really kind of easy to do the YouTube channel. And let me see if I did this. So in the YouTube channel, in the description, okay, so I also didn't do it here. In all the descriptions, I should link them all back to my website. So this one, I didn't do it. Let me see if I did it on this one. So if I didn't, that's one of the things I need to do. I need to go back. Okay, so this one links directly to all podcast shows. So I have this. It links to listen on SoundCloud, listen on iTunes. So the way that I want to do it now is everything that I do, when I promote it through social media, whether it's an article or whatever, in the description, I'm just going to link everybody to the website. Link everybody to the website. And then the website is the landing page. And that's kind of my strategy.
Yeah.
So Ishmael, is that what Bryant was teaching everybody to do?